Hi, I'm Lee Minch. We're in San Diego, California. We're talking with real estate broker extraordinaire Sam Hanna with Marcus and Millichap. Sam's been in the business for many years, and we're going to ask him a little bit about what's going on in the economy right now as far as office buildings and being able to acquire office buildings for some really killer prices. So Sam, give us a little background. What's going on? What should we be looking for? Those of us that are interested in buying office buildings, where's it at? What's going on?
Great question. Typically, in a down economy, office properties are the first properties to start really feeling the pinch. You have a lot of the real estate professionals and office users that start vacating because they can't afford to make the payments anymore. Conversely, when the economies come back, it is the last product to catch back on. So what that's created now is a vacancy rate across the country of 15 to 20%. Here in San Diego specifically, we're running close to 20%, 30% in some areas that are overbuilt. So, there's definitely some opportunities with some vacant buildings. The only problem is you have to have holding power and or make a concept like you have done here, where you've created different facets of your building to attract more tenants. You and I discussed earlier an article that I created regarding the amount of financing that's going to come due in the next few years. What's happening in the real estate business is $2.2 trillion of CMBS loans are going to come due. These are loans that were financed, properties financed from the period of 2002 to 2007.
Okay, I'm going to stop you just for a second.
Okay.
CMBC, what's that?
CMBS is commercial mortgage-backed securities,
Okay.
basically. And a lot of the guys that bought at ridiculous levels during the 2002 to 2005, 2006 era.
Meaning they paid too much for the loans.
They paid too much, and they had too much leverage at the same time. In other words, they didn't put enough down payment on their properties, and the loans that they got were unable to be serviced in today's market.
Okay.
Because their tenants are leaving, and it's a snowball effect. You get
Sure.
one person that leaves and so forth. So 2.2 trillion is going to come due in the next few years.
And we're talking San Diego County?
We're talking nationwide.
Nationwide, 2.2
Yeah, God
trillion.
forbid San Diego County. God forbid. 450 to 500 billion of this real estate, of these loans, cannot be refinanced.
Wow.
So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does it mean to me? What it means is that these loans are going to have to be either sold on the secondary market, they're going to be taken back by the bank, and or the owners are going to have to sell the real estate to preserve whatever equity they have. So that's going to present a tremendous opportunity for buyers of real estate. Because if a glut of product is put on the market, banks are not in the business to hold real estate. Mm-hmm. They're in the business to service loans. But they don't want to become servicers of the assets. So that being said, if a gentleman has let's say $1 million loan coming due in a few years, mm-hmm. he either has to refinance it, but now he's upside down on his property. He owes more than it's worth because he's lost tenants, he's felt the pinch of the economy, and so forth. So as a result of it, his other option is to sell the deal, sell the property. So if you have all this money coming due and people can't refinance and they start putting stuff on the market, well, guess what? That creates opportunity for buyers. And that's where it comes in for you. That's where it's going to be a tremendous opportunity. So I think this market is going to be an excellent time to invest money. You're going to be able to buy deals, specifically in San Diego, for, in my opinion, between $100 to $150 a square foot, which is half of where they were before.
So it's half of where they were before. It's actually less than it would cost to build them new at this point.
You could not replace that in today's market. You're absolutely right.
So you're able to get it for less than it costs to build. And then the big thing, though, as you said, you've got to have the staying power. You've got to have the ability to make those mortgage payments until the economy turns around, until those tenants are going to be able to come in and pay the rent.
That's correct.
You got any ideas on that? I mean, where are you going to...
Yeah, what's happening is that the buyers for these types of deals are coming in and buying them cash. They're buying them at levels where they can pay cash, and their basis in the properties are so low, they can attract tenants at much lower rents than market. Mm-hmm. So they can fill up their buildings without having to sacrifice cash flow. And because their basis is so low in the real estate, they can have positive cash flow, have their buildings full, and add value essentially to the buildings. You have enough people that do this, and eventually the market's going to start to rise again.
So, if we want to take a look at the article that you wrote What's your website again that we could take a look at that?
It's www.samhannamm.com.
Okay, and then if we wanted to talk to you about possibly some buildings that you've got available for sale, is that at the same website?
Yes, you can go to the website. A lot of the buildings that are for sale are not necessarily listed by myself. They could be listed by other agents in our office. It could be listed by other brokers. That's where I come in. That's where I help my clients find the best property that suits their needs.
Okay, so your phone number to be able to get a hold of you is?
My phone number is 858-362-9354.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a scary time, but for those that, again, have saved and been a little bit conservative, that have the cash capability. Now, have you put people together at all to try to help buy buildings? Have you looked at that? Where you get a couple of investors to pool their resources and go in?
We have. As a matter of fact, we are closing on a $4.8 million office building that's multi-tenant, where a pool of investors have come together to buy the asset. And that is becoming very, very commonplace, because you will find assets in the 10 to 20, $30 million range that are not trading. There's not enough capital or financing for these deals. So pools of investors are putting money together to buy these assets.
And they're buying them with cash. And
They're buying them with cash.
That lets them bring in the tenants at really discounted rates. And those investors are just kind of taking a look at a relatively small return on their capital per year, but they're looking at the upside.
That's correct.
And you've been in the business long enough, it's just going to be a matter of time. It's that old saying, don't wait to buy real estate.
Don't wait.
Buy real estate and wait.
Exactly. It's a great time to buy real estate, and as you know, it's probably the most, in my opinion, fundamentally sound, stable asset that you can buy, because you actually get to hold and touch something, and it's yours. You get to manage and add value the way you've added value in your building. Not many people can do this the way that you've done it, but you had an idea, you put your idea to work, and lo and behold, you've got a full building.
Well, that's actually going to be another segment. I want to thank Sam very much for being here, and best of luck for this last quarter of this year and on from there. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you very much, Lee.
All right.